So how could we now make use of those curves and trim out the space out of this interface surface so that the front face has an opening where we are going to sync in our LCD display? Well, what we have to do is somehow get those curves onto that surface. And I'm going to the back view. And the command for that is actually project. You might remember under surface edit we have intersect. That is a command when you would like to create an intersection curve where two or multiple surfaces intersect with each other. And the project tool is used when, for example, you would like to take a set of curves or a curve and project it onto a surface. So I am in the back view. So I'm looking actually along the y-axis perpendicular onto my object. I can click project. Maybe let's double click it so you can see the different tool options in case Alias allows me to open it. And you see that in create it has two options, curves on surface. That is when you would like to create trimming curves, which then can be used with the trim tool. And if you select just curves, then it only creates basically curves that are being kind of like projected over a surface, but you can still then select them as individual curves and move them around. The surface that is being used to project onto is more kind of like a mold. You're going to push and move your curves then over. But that's not really what we want. In this case, we would like create curves on surface. Since we're inside the side view and looking through the x-axis, we can, for the vector option, either use x or view. Both are actually in this case the same. And of course, we would like to have create history turned on. So we can close this. And then it asks a surface to project onto. So in that case, that would be this cap surface. And I click go. And then it asks me to select my curves I would like to project. These are those curves. So I'm going to select them all. And again, it's really, really important when you are projecting, always make sure if you use a view, you're like in an orthographic view, so that this profile here is really now going towards the surface. And because if I would do it from here, now this is not really along the x-axis. So if you work in this case, then you would have to set the vector to, for example, x, or select view when you're working with orthographic views. And then when you have all your curves selected, you can click project. And let's go to surface and turn off our interface layer with the curves. And you see that there is now a green outline. And that is basically the trimming curves. As you can see, I cannot really click them. I only can click the surface. If I go to select curve on surface, then actually I can select them. So those are really curves that are projected onto the surface and stick to it. And now, because those are also usable trimming curves, I could now go to the trim tool, select the surface, select the inside, and say discard. And then you see those trimming curves are being used to cut out the space.